Hey folks, and welcome to this video snippet from Dueling Rabbits Productions. Today's hot topic is one that seems to be on a lot of weavers' minds at the moment: overcoming the challenges of weaving with double-weft yarns on a side feed shuttle. Those of you familiar with my recent videos on pseudo damask and Bergman weaves will know that I've needed a lot of doubled 8-2 wool lately. You may also be aware of the common pitfall that accompanies such a practice when using a typical boat or damask shuttle: the two yarns unspooling at different rates and causing, well, this. Since I dislike chasing a doubled weft with two shuttles and don't own any shuttles that hold two yarn packages at once, I thought I'd share what I personally find to be some simple and effective strategies for avoiding disaster. I don't want this to happen to you. Step 1. Prepare the yarn packages for winding. I don't actually do this in any special way, although in principle I like to at least start with the yarn coming off the balls in the same direction. I never wind from the center of the ball. The yarn should be coming off its source freely and easily. If I'm winding from cones of yarn, I generally hold them steady on the pins of my lazy Kate. If I'm winding off of balls, and they seem particularly skittish, I often confine them to separate bowls. I don't bother with this if they're well behaved. Step 2. Use quills and wind them with care. Here's my setup. My trusty Swedish quill winder stands, well oiled and at the ready, with my two yarn packages underneath. As you can see, they are just sitting on the floor, out of focus, but directly below my winder. Here's my quill. I really do think quills are superior. Well prepared, they unwind smoothly and evenly without snagging or jerking. I grasp my two yarn ends firmly between my thumb and index finger. I clamp them firmly to the quill with a bit of overhang and wind clockwise slowly to secure the ends. Now, with my thumb providing constant, even pressure against the quill, and my index finger controlling the tension of the ends against my thumb, I can start to wind more quickly. I'm careful to keep my thumb and index finger in contact with one another at all times so I can feel that the yarn is winding smoothly between them. The side of my thumbnail is always pressed up against the yarn as it builds up on the quill, providing the tiniest bit of resistance to my winding. When I stop, you can see how the side of my thumb is pressing firmly against the yarn on the quill, and how evenly the two yarns are winding on. Winding in this way, any difference in tension between the two yarns is kept downstream of my controlling fingers. I continue in this manner, sliding and pulling my thumb against the yarn as it builds up. This makes the lovely, bulgy shape we associate with a well-prepped quill. Step 3. Hone your technique. When I am weaving with two weft yarns at once, I take care how I throw and catch my shuttle. It makes a huge difference. Here are my two gold wool ends coming off the bottom of the quill in my beloved side feed Volk Samuelson damask shuttle. I've been weaving for a while, but they are still the same length. Notice how I'm holding my shuttle parallel to the selvage edge of my cloth rather than the beater. This is the key to success. When I catch my shuttle, I flick my wrist backwards a little bit so that the trailing end of the shuttle points towards the beater. I don't keep the shuttle parallel to the beater, as we are often accustomed to doing, as this causes the two yarns to come off the shuttle at different rates. Geometry. Before I throw my next pick, I extend my arm so I have some slack in my wefts and confirm that they are both still the same length. I throw it again and do the little backwards flick. I draw it out to make some slack and beat. Still the same length. The technique looks a little awkward and exaggerated because my damask shuttle is quite long, and I'm trying to keep it in view of the camera. I'm also going way slower than I normally would, but I want you to get the idea of starting and finishing each pick, insofar as possible, parallel to the selvage rather than the beater. It will seem painstaking at first, but the technique soon becomes second nature and one is able to build up a fair bit of steam. At the end of the quill, I can be all but guaranteed the wefts have unspooled at the same rate so that they are all used up at the same time. There are none of the unsightly bumps or loops that form when the yarns are coming off the quill at different rates. I really enjoy being able to use my favorite side feed shuttles with 2 weft yarns at once. No extra or special equipment is needed to avoid calamity, just care and a little practice. I hope you find these quick tips useful and, as always, thank you so much for watching.